The fourth meeting, which involves personalities belonging to Chinese, European and American cultures, invites us to reflect on the role of museum in fostering creativity and also, of course, on the future of museums and libraries. Museums and libraries are the temples of memory, and only memory in this world, torn by wars and doubts, can open, thanks to the books and thanks to the museum, the doors to a future of knowledge and serenity. Let me remember the message contained in a papyrus from the period of Ramesses II, 13th century BC, now in the British Museum. Man disappears. His body returns to dust. His fellows become earth, but the book perpetuates the memory of him. Better a book than a solid house, or a temple in the far west, or a stronghold or a stele erected in a sanctuary. The wise prophets have disappeared, and their names would be forgotten if their writings did not preserve their memory. These wonderful words were written by an unknown Egyptian scribe more than 4,400 years ago. In a world where everything is doomed to decline, the eternal thirsty people of the Nile Valley understood that the written record represented the only victory that would ever been achieved over death. Thousands of years have passed since the people of the pyramids and the inhabitants of the land between the two rivers, Mesopotamia, of course, taught mankind the art of writing and invented the first library of the story. On the banks of the relentless river of time, many empires have been born and dissolved. But the book, capable of transmitting an eternal message to the men on the whole earth, has retained its charm and magical power. In the imagination of peoples, there is always a moment where destiny must choose the symbol that will show future generations the way forward. In Israel's history, this fateful hour is marked by the revolt of Bar Kokhba, the son of the star, who rebelled against Rome and Emperor Hadrian and succeeded in seizing Jerusalem. After 3 years of relentless war, from 133 to 135, and tens of thousands of deaths, the defeated insurgents wanted to choose death in order not to submit to foreign domination, the Roman domination. Then Rabbi Johanan ben Zakkai stood up and offered the Romans the submission of the Jews on one condition, that the Torah be saved. In his eyes, the teaching of the ancient Torah ensured much more than a blind and hopeless revolt, the survival of the people who believes only in the verdicts of the soul. To protect and save his memory, Israel did not rely on the sword, but on the book. The ancients understood that it was essential to combine museum and libraries. 1,000 years after our scribed in the time of Ramesses II, the Library of Alexandria, built by pharaohs Ptolemy I and Ptolemy II in the 3rd century BC, contained over 700,000 papyri and was paired with the Museum of Alexandria. The Roman emperors themselves understood the importance of memory and importance of the book. The only tool to snatch men's thoughts from death and build impressive libraries in Rome, Trajan and Caracalla, and in Athens, Hadrian. People without memory freeze to death, wrote the Greek historian Georges Dumézil. If we want to spare our civilization the long winter of death, we must teach the younger generation that the custodian of memory are museum and books.